Hello, today we're going to talk about Eastern Hemisphere Africa. Africa is the second largest continent in the world. It's cut into two parts, the northern and southern hemisphere, which is right on the equator. It has 1/5 of the world's land, but only 15% of the world's population. All right, to Africa. I did north, east, south, and west. In the north of Africa, you have the Sahara Desert, which is also known as the Great Desert of Africa. In the east, you have Mount Kilimanjaro and the Red Sea. Southeast, you have the Zambezi River, which also contains Victoria Falls. In the south, you have the Kalahari Desert, which is not nearly as big as the Sahara, and the Drakensberg Mountains. The Sahara Desert actually grows every year because of drought and other type of things. In the northwest, you have the Atlas Mountains and the Niger River. The west is nothing in this case that you need to know. And the Congo River is in the southwest, and that is 6 miles wide. All right, there's a lot of lowlands along the river and the coast, along rivers and coast. There's not many good harbors. There's 2 places that have good harbors in this area. The desert has a hot, dry climate. The Nile River floods from June to October. There's a lot of flooding there. And when this flooding happens, sediment is matter that settles at the bottom of these rivers. Sediment, yep. So the effects of the civilization is there's a population boom in the second half century of the 20th century. So it went from 230 million to 811 million people, and that increase will put a strain on any population, especially one like Africa that we have learned has trouble producing food because of the climates and the deserts and the disease. There's a lot that happens there. Nigeria is the most populated country with 158 million. Another one we need to talk about, South Africa. South Africa has 53 million people. It suffers from droughts, overpopulations, heat waves, flooding, and only 12% of the land in South America can be used for farming. So farms in South Africa use 50% of the country's water for irrigation. Funny story, when I was overseas, I got to talk to the guy in charge of all the water for, it's not a funny story, I guess, of Kirkuk, Iraq. And he was the first one who told me necessity is the father of all, invention is the father of all necessity. However you say it, whichever way. And he talked to us about how water was distributed just to the farming areas for irrigation, and nowhere else. It was hard to find water anywhere else, so they just sent water to the farming areas, and everybody else had to do without and figure it out. It's an interesting story. Increased rainfall helps the Sahara grow green plants again after long periods without. I think the question for that one was like, what is the reason that plants have been growing after 100 years in the desert? It's because of increased rainfall. All right, this has been an outline of the unit Eastern Hemisphere Africa. Here's your map again if you need it. Good luck.